I'm Liselle Sambury. I'm a young adult author, and it is the third week of Nano. So, if you watch my other vlog over here, you know that I decided to switch projects. So I'm now working on plotting a dark academia book. And so this morning, Devasia / Grapefry did a sprint, which I was kind of in and out of. So I did do some book work, and then I got distracted by freelance work that I had to get done. But I did work on some book work. Right now what I'm doing is I'm going through all my notes in On Writing and World Building by Timothy Hickson. So it's just like a book all about like world building. And so I'm going through all of my notes and just kind of like jotting down point form notes for my book off of that. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's very interesting because this is new for me because I've never plotted a series all together right from the start, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to plot 3 books all together right from the start. It's gonna be like a longer project for sure, just getting all of that organized, but I'm having fun with it. I'm just really thinking about all the different aspects and like how I want each book to be, and it's very interesting for me to think of them simultaneously in that way because it's like really helping me discover how I want things to go. So I'm like, I want this to happen in this book and this to happen in this book and that sort of thing. And I think it'll help me really lock them all together so it feels really cohesive. I think especially in trilogies, it's very easy to kind of have a second book that kind of like waxes and wanes. And so for me, like planning them all together, I think will kind of help me potentially avoid doing that with the second book. And so I'm trying to think of like how I can do everything. Today specifically, I was working on my villain. So I've kind of like, I didn't really have a very firm idea of what the villain would be for the book. And so now I'm trying to iron all of that out. I think I'm gonna have like a few villains, like a few like levels of villainy. And so I'm trying to figure out how that's going to interact with my main character. And like a note that Timothy Hickson makes in the book is like, your villain should be exacerbating or making worse the main character's weakness so that, you know, they have to overcome that weakness in order to defeat the villain. And so the villain has to be kind of uniquely positioned to kind of make that weakness even stronger in that person. And so I'm just trying to wrap my head around that. Like my fatal flaw of my character right now is that she essentially, anything negative that happens in her life, she punishes herself for it and blames herself for it. And so I'm trying to figure out how that can work with a villain and like how a villain can exacerbate that. I've got some ideas, so I'm working on that. I think like it's so hard because like one of the villains is definitely going to be a secret villain, and then it's like, oh, I gotta like build out the secret villain and I gotta like make them. Oh, it's just like, yeah, it's a difficult process. So that's what I'm working on right now. And so I'm done for today. I also finished up some freelance stuff. I also did a little home reno things. So I think I'm gonna eat lunch, and then yeah, tomorrow I'll jump back into it. Afternoon. So I have done some like bookwork stuff. Oops. I was watching a vlog and I accidentally turned it on. Yeah, so today I have done some more kind of like world building notes. That's kind of just what I've been doing. I've just been like chipping away at it. I'm trying to think through all of my like plot points and that sort of thing. So I'm working again on the villain stuff. I think I have much better solidified the villain stuff now, especially like the struggle I was talking about before of like thinking about how the villain and the protagonist interact, and like I needed my villain to need my protagonist for reasons, and I've been able to figure out why that is pretty much. And so that's really good. I watched Saboteur. I have a Skillshare account. I've had a Skillshare account for a while and I haven't been using it for a while. So I hopped on there because I was like, I know Saboteur has a course thing, so I went and I hopped on there. It didn't end up being for me. There's like a character interview, so like you interview your character, but like that's just not how I discover voice. Like for me to discover voice of a character, I just need to like type it out, and like that's kind of how I come together with understanding voice. And like doing an interview felt like doing a questionnaire, and I was like, yeah, it's just like not my style. I understand how it can be helpful for people, but it's just like that's not how I get to know characters. Like I just need to like be messy in the first draft and figure out the voice as I'm going. And the fact that I'm like, voice is one of the things I think I do best in my writing, based on my own feelings, but also based on that being mostly what people comment on me doing well. And so I was just like, I think I've got a good system, so I don't really want to switch my system. Yeah, I tried watching some Hello Future Me, who is Timothy Hickson, who is the author of that world building book. I thought I would watch some of his YouTube videos, but it was basically like verbatim what's in the book. So then I was like, okay, whatever. I'm like some things were like verbatim what was in the book. So I was like, okay, whatever. I've read the book. I've read everything. Some people did make recommendations for a craft book for romance, so Romancing the Beats it's called, so I'm gonna see if I can read that. I also have been meaning to read Creating Character Arcs for ages, and so I'm like, I should read that too to help me really iron out these characters. So I'm gonna try reading some of that today after I waste time on YouTube, so that's the plan. I just checked on my latest batch of kombucha. There it is. There it is. And it's so sour. It's amazing. I love kombucha where like you drink it and it's like it's so sour because it's so fermented. Like that is my favorite level of kombucha. And my first batch I made with this new SCOBY that I got it online. I'll like link below if you care about kombucha where I got my SCOBY from. I ordered a brand new one because my old one died because I hadn't brewed in like a year. So yeah, it died. And so I got this new one, and the first batch I made, because it's like a new SCOBY, I'm not really used to using it. Anyway, and it was like fresh. So then it was like quite sweet. Like it was much more sweet than I wanted it to be, but it had already like sat for a month and I was impatient. So I just drank it. I even tried to do a secondary fermentation. It didn't even matter. It was still just like way too sweet. And so this one is great because it's a continuous brew, so it used a cup of the kombucha I just made, and like when you keep like reusing a cup of kombucha you just made and just like continuously refill it, it like gets even stronger, and now it's so sour and I'm so pleased. I thought I would do this update in the fresh air because I let my dog out. She's back in now, but sometimes I do like, when it's not freezing outside, I do like to stand in the doorway and like breathe in some of the fresh outside air. And it's really good lighting, so here I am. This is like a better lighting than the ring light. Anyway, What was I going to say? Oh, yesterday was the pizza party live stream on Laura's channel with Laura and Kevin for their Thirsty Thursday write-in. And so I joined as a guest along with Alexa Dunn and Ginger Reed's Lainey. So that was a fun stream. I ate my pizza before. I like to eat at like 6:30 p.m. And the live stream is at 7:30, and I was like, I need to eat. So I had already eaten our pizza. As you saw before, we made like a Detroit style pizza. So it was really, really good. I've made it before, but like I used the wrong kind of cheese and the wrong kind of sauce. So like I kind of wasn't pleased with it. But this time I got the right type of sauce and the right type of cheese, and it was like perfect. I don't know if it's like stands up to real Detroit style, but it was like perfect for like homemade. So then we had that pizza party, which was cool. Other cool news, I was on a BuzzFeed list, and by I mean me and my book, Blood Like Magic. It was on like a BuzzFeed list for anticipated 2021 releases. So that was really exciting. It was a big list, but I was still excited to be on there. Like, I don't know, to me like BuzzFeed is like so cool and big, and like I remember like being younger when BuzzFeed first started popping up, and like, you know, so that was really exciting to see my book on there. So I was really excited about that. I gotta switch arms because I'm out of shape. So yeah, that was good. So I worked some on my new nano project, which was good. I finished all my like brain dump world building stuff. And so basically what I did was I started like making note of the entire history. So there's like a magical society. So I'm just making note like chronologically of like everything that happens, so I can have that full backstory. Probably like how much of that will make it into the text, I don't know, but I want to at least have it in my head so that I kind of know, and then I can go in and play around with that as I will. Is this better? Oh, that's better. So yeah, that's what I did yesterday. I think the day before, some day in the week I like legit did nothing, but I did do stuff yesterday because I was on the stream. I've also just started watching The Queen's Gambit, which I thought it was a movie. I didn't realize it was a show, but it's like really good. I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, I'm liking it a lot. And then yeah, that's kind of it. So today I do have freelance work that I need to get done, and so I'm going to work on that probably all day, just to get that, you know, to make a dent in it. And by I mean all day, I mean I'll probably like get tired at like 2 p.m. and stop. And then I don't know, I'd like to do some like work on it, but I don't know, I guess we'll see if I actually do. I've been taking some rest times. I just like, yeah. Yeah, that's it. I'm just like, I've been taking some rest times. I was very gung-ho about like my new nail goal will be I'll just like work on it every day, and now I'm just like, I'll just do it when I want to. Though I have worked on it every day except for that one day. So, but I don't know, we'll see. So that's this update. Papa. And it's Sunday, the end of the week. And what have I done for the week? Since the last time I updated, I have done no additional work. I just like, I don't even like have a legitimate excuse. I just like didn't feel like it, so then I did it. I watched some like shows and stuff. We've been doing like home reno stuff, so I did some of that. And then I had some freelance work to do, so I did some of that. And then I did a bunch of reading. So that's kind of what I ended up doing. And I also wrote like a little like mini section of a scene for like a different project, just because I thought of it in the shower. So then I went and did that. And yeah, so that's basically what I did for the week. I do have plans to get more things done next week, which is the last week of NaNoWriMo. So creating character arts Arcs by Cam Weiland, I believe. So my plan is for next week is to read that and then like work really hard on my character arcs. Yeah, and kind of focus on that pretty much and getting that done and count that as like part of the work. But yeah, I don't feel bad about taking days off, even though it was Nano and even though I said my goal is to work every day. I'm just kind of like working as it works for me. But when there's like live streams and stuff, I hop on them and that sort of thing, and then I like get more work done. But in between that time, this week has been a little bit different because I have been more busy with freelance stuff than I expected to be. And then I was tired and so then did not do as much stuff. But I still feel good about like getting stuff done on this project during the month. I did kind of want to work on this project steadily for the whole of November before December comes and I switch over to something else briefly. So yeah, that was my plan. So I'm still doing that. That is still happening. I just didn't do as much this week as I expected, but I did get a lot of reading done, which I'm really excited about. I have been reading a lot, like pretty steadily, which I'm excited about because it's good. I reached my Goodreads goal of 50 books for the year. My Goodreads goal was actually originally 25 books and then quarantine happened and then I started reading so much more, so then I pushed it to 50 and I just finished that with Horrid. I finished reading Horrid. So yeah, that's it for this NaNoWriMo week. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And how did your Nano week 3 go? Please comment below and share how that went for you. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye!